My name is Caleb Taylor, and I'm one of the hosts here at Thrive15.com. Today, we're sitting down with Clay Clark, the beautiful, pale visioneer and CEO of Thrive15. He's going to be talking to us today about the 11 tips to managing your team to win. Now remember, knowledge without application is meaningless. So it's great that you're watching these episodes and taking notes, but you've got to apply what you learn here. Stop and think, how can I apply these principles to my business and my personal life? Because if you don't, this episode could be as meaningless as a virgin vodka tonic. All right, Clay, today we're going over management.
Yeah.
You know, it might feel like a bit of a broad topic because there's a lot there.
Broad.
But it's important.
Yeah.
And it's something that, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's one of the biggest issues you deal with day in and day out. How do you inspire, keep accountable? You know, how do you keep your team accountable, motivate? It's a big issue.
I think in business today, one of the biggest challenges is people that have this great business plan, this great idea. We want to take over the world, but we can't convince anybody to execute our business plan. And ultimately, to grow, you have to go from me to we. You're going to have to learn to get other people involved in the game. Otherwise, you're old school Michael Jordan when he was scoring, almost 40 points a game there, and his team wasn't winning. Exactly. But with Phil Jackson, they built that team. They built that team, and they started winning some championships. We're going to teach kind of how to build the team.
The manager's job, is what you're saying, is to motivate often.
Yeah.
And I know I read in an article, it was back in Forbes, 2013, August of 2013. They had a study, came from the State of American Workplace Report.
Yeah.
70% of U.S. workers do not like their job.
What?
That's a high number.
Well, I will tell you this. I've noticed as an entrepreneur, when I get together, we'll do some grilling at my house, and we're grilling and we're talking, and people will say, "How was your week?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, at the office we did this, we're doing this, we're launching this new initiative, we're selling this new product, I'm so excited about this new."
Yeah.
And I noticed that the people whoever come over, if they're not entrepreneurs, they're like, the last thing they want to talk about is their job.
I know.
They'd rather talk about anything other than their job because they don't like that job. But entrepreneurs, as a general rule, we like our job. So the problem is that 13% of the population is self-employed, and we've got to convince the 70% who's not pumped up about their job to like their job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Every conversation you have with them is either, "Oh, we're this close to the weekend,"
Oh yeah,
or "this close to the break," or "this close to lunch."
Well, what you do is I can tell you what, if you're talking to the 70%, you say, "How are you?" They say, "It's Monday."
Yeah.
You talk to him on Wednesday, "It's hump day, almost there." And you talk to him, you see him on Friday, "It's almost the weekend," like you just said.
That's all you're trying to do is get out of that job.
Oh yeah.
Well, John D. Rockefeller once famously said, "The ability to deal with people is as purchasable a commodity as sugar or coffee, and I will pay more for that ability than any other under the sun." Now, as somebody who's started a business in the dorm room and grew it to the boardroom, now starting Thrive, what does this mean to you?
Well, I want to show a little diagram up here just real quick because I think this is huge. And one thing, and I always like to use this board as much as possible.
Yeah.
No, but one of the things is I have found people that have a massive, massive stack of money, and they've got, it's the owner, massive stack of money, and they cannot convince anybody to do their job. No matter how much they pay them, so they offer more and more wages, more and more income, more and more. They say to their staff, "Hey, we'll pay you more. I'll give you bonuses. Just come on, just do your job, please." And they're begging with their staff to work. Then I've seen other people, other entrepreneurs with $0 who are able to get their staff to do whatever they want them to do. So what's the difference? It's the ability to manage people. It's the ability to manage people. And I'm telling you, that's how Steve Jobs went from the garage to from the garage to the Garage Mahal, I guess. From the bottom to the top was because he could inspire a group of people to do something awesome and to change the world, to think differently. Right. But the reason why a lot of people who are watching this, maybe we're struggling, maybe we're stuck, maybe our businesses aren't growing, is it's not about the money. It's not about the ability to pay people. It's not about being able to give your staff health insurance or be able to give them benefits. It's about being able to manage and inspire people. And so John Rockefeller was saying, hey, if you can inspire people, you're worth a lot more than any other commodity.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tons and tons of evidence out there that majority of business owners are not good at motivating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a constant struggle to keep, so-and-so from texting and monitoring all the time, monitoring how much time is spent on Facebook or Pinterest or whatever it is. That's their biggest fear.
Yeah.
But when you've set it up so that they care and buy into that vision, that's not something you have to worry about all the time. And so what we're going to focus on is teaching these 11 steps.
I'm pumped up.
Management steps to create the winning team for you.
I get pumped up about this because I've seen it actually change somebody's life.
Yeah.
I'll give you one example. There's a young man I know who started a business years ago, and he was in that phase where he's constantly trying to get his staff motivated. They just won't work. And I saw him implement these principles, and literally today he makes more money now passively by his company running than he used to make actively working full-time in the business. Now he works on the business about 10 hours a week, and he makes more that way than he used to working 70 hours a week in the business, trying to do everyone's job. Because if you're not careful, an entrepreneur will say, well, if you just can't get anything done unless you do it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you end up being an entrepreneur who's like the IT guy, the sales guy, the janitor, can't do it.